Hit me with that copyright free beat. Sodians a go, I'm a VIP, yo. Spelling all the debuffs, make your credit card go whoa. So roll a couple packs if you wanna see her back. Sortie 50R-T 50R-T 5 Old Republic Tunes. Ladies and gentlemen, Gungans and Jords across the galaxy, we got a birthday in the house! And it's our sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends! That's right, one of the biggest mobile games of all time is having its 3rd year anniversary this month. And look at what they've accomplished in that amount of time. Doom Tower, tons of bosses, hundreds of unique characters, the Shadowkin faction, and that brand new Hydra raid, baby. And to celebrate their 3rd year anniversary, they're giving out special rewards to new and current players. And you don't want to miss it, so click the link down below or scan my QR code. And if you're a brand new player, you'll get a special birthday package worth over $40. But on top of that, all new and existing players can get a bunch of free birthday gifts worth over $25. Just make sure once you're in game, enter the promo code 3 years raid. All this treasure will be waiting for you right up here, but you gotta be quick because these rewards are only available for the next 30 days. Ladies and gentlemen, Gungans and Droids, we got what I'm considering to be, so far in 2022, one of the best new characters to come to Galaxy of Heroes. You know her as well as I do, Sortie. They actually probably don't because this is a brand new character being introduced to Star Wars at large. It's the 2nd time Capital Games has done this, and what we're gonna do today, I wanted to do an in-depth review, but I feel like there's so much more to learn about this fantastic character we have in front of us so far. We're gonna do a part 2 testing stream, but I want to kind of get you guys on the radar with where I stand so far with Sortie, and let me say, I've had so much fun with her. I think that's the most important part, is a character that's really fun, bringing a faction that I do love on the side back to life yet again into the limelight. And I think there's gonna be a bigger future and lots of plug and play viability with this character, to the point where she's making Sith Eternal and Supreme Leader Kylo Ren so much more consistent up against the notorious Jedi Master Kenobi. So a lot to talk about. We're just gonna keep it surface level, and what I think the overall impact's gonna be, and the tinfoil hat has spoken, and things we're leading into more older public stuff sometime in the near future here. So let's start talking about what I liked about this character while we roll some gameplay here. First thing of note, let's talk about the faction she's designed for. Like Iden, for the leftover troopers, I like to call them the Special Forces troopers. Like Dash, helping out the scoundrels, we're getting some help for droids. And I understand why they did it. It was one of those things where if I had to think what factions to help, it wasn't one that I had on my radar, and that's the droids. Now, the droids are interesting. I've had a large affinity for droids, and there's been many times where I've shown myself using droids to counter metas in the past here, and we're seeing that happen for Sortie and the droids. She's gonna be kind of leading the charge for droids and giving them more of a solidified base, because the problem is their foundation is, what's the best way to say it? It wasn't really there. Pretty much the droids would only work if Grievous decides to show up or BB-8 decides to show up. Otherwise, well, there's not much of a team then. And you have all these droids collecting dust and rusting away inside the droid factory. Well, Sortie is gonna be their savior and make them viable. And man, we're only scratching the surface when it comes to utilizing her with the droid factory. I didn't even put like crazy relics or mods. I kind of just geared up my Sortie, got her to Relic 5, and I just brought in whatever mods I had on my droids, and they were bad mods. I didn't even have complete sets or critical damage mods on my IGD. R2 just had some leftover non-6 mods, as well as T-Therm 4, who's Relic 3, garbage mods on them as well. And we were taking on a variety of teams, taking on Dash, Rebel Fighters, Iden Verso. Granted, no Omicron on them, but I think we'd still have some good use against them in an Omicron situation. And we've even taken on Galactic Legends Sith Eternal getting absolutely decimated by this team. It's literally Droids on Roids 2.0, the rise of the machines. We need to talk about BB-8. Now, this is kind of a semi-hard sell. Let me explain why. You could use it with BB-8, Jedi Training Rate, but Jedi Training Rate is too busy with Galactic Legends. Secondly, Grievous. Now, Grievous does benefit with BB-8 when he wants to go up against Starkiller, but there's other ways to counter Starkiller, so maybe not a big deal. Here's probably why you're going to want to use BB-8 for Shorty. I'm going to get so used to saying Shorty, it's going to be a problem here. Let me explain this real quick. Self-preservation protocol. Basically, what happens is you're going to get tons and tons and tons of turn meter, and the great thing is there's not even a Zeta needed for this. 8% turn meter at the very beginning of battle for each active droid ally. So a full team of droids putting at 40% turn meter. Let me show you some math here real quick, show you how this works. So let's say you're at 350 to start off with, because he's kind of fast. You're going to add the 35 to that. And on top of that, you're going to add 40 for her. She can be at 425 speed, hypothetically. And then if you go ahead and do that BB-8 turn meter push, 708 speed! More power, baby! Look at that! Almost 1,000 speed! I don't think there's any other character that can get close to that in Galaxy. So the point I'm getting at is I feel like this is going to be the superior use for BB-8 inside of Galaxy, because you got a big opening plane. That was always the strength of the droids. They can get out there fast, try to do something. But here's the thing that the droids didn't have them that they have now. They have ways to sustain longer in battles. Because droids before, it was a massive push with BB-8, big damage, but it just dropped. The damage just kind of stopped. Their train stopped rolling. But with Shorty and the droids in the club now, got a couple of things in your tool belt here. Let's bring up the next character on our board here. T3M4. Now, he was important for the droid nuke and a couple of other funny little droid things. Other than that, not that important. Sitting in the scrapyard for the most part. Even to today, we're not seeing a lot of the Grievous nuke. We see some of it, not as often as it used to be. So he's back in the scrapyard. But Sorty pulled him out. It's like, you're not garbage to me. You're not useless to me. You're not just a number to me. Mainly because T3M4 is amplifying the damage output on the team. With the combat logic upgrade, for all the debuffs on the enemy team, you're getting 8% critical damage for each debuff on the enemy team, increasing the potency and critical chance as well on the team with the combat logic upgrade. And if you go with Master Gearhead, you're increasing the defense penetration as well as more defense penetration, and you got lots of ways to get target lock onto the field. So T3M4 is supercharging the damage. It has a buff dispel on him with the carbonite projector, applies tons of damage, and also has a cleanse on top of the cleanse that Shorty already does. So point being is, before we even look at Shorty's kit, we have these droids that just needed a home, and Shorty is gonna bring them together because since she's a fast character, it's gonna be a fast droid. We talked about that big Terminator boost, able to outrun even Galactic Legends. Opening up a Sabak Shuffle, throwing those packs at the enemy because they're not wheeling hard enough. She loves the gamble, and man, it's a good gamble she's pulling off here, because when she does Sabak Shuffle at the very beginning, as long as there's no separatist droids on the team, kind of important, so it's kind of keeping Grievous out of here. You're able to apply target lock, which is cool and dandy, but you can remove 10% turn meter for each instance of damage, and it does damage 3 times to each enemy. So you have the possibility of removing 30% turn meter on each enemy right at the very get-go. So she's already able to outrun Galactic Legends and pretty much any team for that matter. And then she's able to rip off 30% turn meter, assuming all the hits land, on each character. And allowing your droids, who already are preloaded turn meter out of their minds, to run a bunch of turns because of BB-8, and then run even more turns because you just yanked a lot of turn meter off the opposing team. And on top of that, allies are getting 10% stacking offense, which is key to know. It's just allies, not even droid allies. It's just allies in general gain 10% offense until the end of the encounter each time this ability is used. So you can use this outside of a droid team, and it slowly increase the damage on your team. And then spare parts, it's the lead to shoot for. I would say the Omicron is passable. I don't understand why there's Conquest Omicrons, and I'm hoping we never get into an era where we need Conquest Omicrons to complete Conquest and get max crate. Otherwise, it makes no sense. You got Data Disc, soon there'll be Data Cons released. I don't really understand the point of the Omicron right now. I don't think it's worth it. That's just me. I think there are more important Omicrons to apply right now. And the cool thing is here, another problem with the droids, as I mentioned, once they get the opening plays up, they start dying off fairly easily. But with the spare parts that she grants at the very beginning, she's granting extra offense to the team. And when a character is defeated, when they have spare parts, they are revived at the 100% health, foresight, and protection up. So it's a one-time situation where if someone dies, you can just bring them back to life, almost kind of like mechanic savvy on Quill, but it's locked. That's the problem with mechanic savvy, is that it goes away and you never really got the benefit much from the droid revives. Droids are going to be a team. It's a team now. It's not a team that might exist. It's a team that will exist for a long time moving forward. But in this situation, you don't want to have, you don't have droids. You have no intention of gearing up droids. VIP treatment is actually really darn good because it's a mini Chewbacca guard mechanic where you're going to put VIP on the lowest health and protection character, aka the weakest member on the team. And the most important thing is anytime the VIP is being hit, you're putting them under stealth for 2 turns. And the most notable thing out the get-go, I was very curious to try this out. One of the things that we have a struggle with when going up against Kenobi is having armor live long enough to get the 3 stacks of Beskar. Well, one trick here is making armor the weakest member on the team, giving her the VIP treatment. And what happens is when Kenobi inevitably opens up and someone calls to assist and hit her, she'll go under stealth. And I've never seen this before. You're able to, I mean, getting the 3 stacks, I mean, you could use Thrawn, for example, but sometimes things go wrong and Thrawn can't help her out and you have to just be satisfied with 2. But if armor can live long enough, she's able to give 3 stacks. And I've noticed with the VIP treatment, she can potentially give 2 full stacks of 3 Beskar, 3 sets of Beskar. You never see that before. You'd be lucky to get 1 set of 3 stacks of Beskar. So she's able to survive so much longer. And Primitive Cow Run is so much more consistent going up against Kenobi. Sith Eternal is so much more consistent going up against Kenobi, just because you're able to keep that person alive so much longer. It's kind of cheesy, but it's possible. And we're just tapping into this. There is going to be so many other ways to take advantage of it. We're just scratching the surface. That's why I feel like I need to do another stream, seeing how many more teams can the droids beat and what else can we do with this plug and play viability, because I think we're just getting started here. And man, pretty solid character. And one more thing I do want to note before we end this video, she's a very durable character. Because of that VIP treatment, she's able to be super durable. Anytime that VIP is being hit, you're getting 5% recovery of max health and protection based off of Sortie, and then Sortie is going to get defense up and 50% max protection up. So if you have high base health, you're going to be able to get tons of most protection. She could survive Death Mark. She could survive exposes. Lots of ways to keep this character alive. I'd say the one complaint I have is I wish she had a Scoundrel tag. She seems like a character that should have the Scoundrel tag on her. Bit of a missed opportunity, I think, here. But I think maybe it's for balancers, because if she had more access to tags, wow, that would be fantastic. But there's other ways to utilize her. Maybe Quill can go in there, for example. So, or maybe even Beskar Mando. She's not a Scoundrel, but she is going to be a droid. So there's going to still be some synergy. She's going to be fast, so she can try to get more whistling birds on the team, pushing back enemy turn meter. We're just scratching the surface, as I said. And man, I'm looking forward to see what we can do with this character here. If you want to apply the Zeta, she has one on Sabacc Shuffle, as well as spare parts. I do recommend both, but the more important one, if you can't afford it, is going to be Sabacc Shuffle, because this has the turn meter removal attached to it, the target lock capabilities, the increasing offense on the team. Spare parts, if you do get the Zeta, you're getting the spare parts buff, which allows your droids to revive again, and you're also getting an extra 10 speed. So they're both going to be solid Zetas. I see them being used for a while. And mods, I think you have so many ways to go. As we said, if you're using BB-8, you don't need speed. But if you don't have BB, I would recommend speed mods. So it depends what you're running here. Crit damage is just going to lean into T3 and 4. But if you don't think BB-8 is going to be something you can put on this team, make her as fast as possible, because man, she can get close to 400 speed even without the help of BB-8. And one other thing we got to talk about. I think this character, the tinfoil hat spoke to us earlier. I think this character might be required for something down the road. I don't know if that's our indication of 5 Old Republic tunes, but remember, we did have a data mine a while ago saying there's a lot of new characters coming. She's one of them. And now there's a suspicion, now that we're getting more Old Republic stuff, there might be an Old Republic legendary, or maybe even Galactic Legend. We are a year from Kenobi's initial announcement of Galactic Legends, and we know there's a road ahead in June. Very good chance this character could be needed for something bigger down there. But the good thing is right here, right now, what we have in front of us, useful character for the droids and mad plug and play viability. And we're just scratching at the surface. And the one thing I regret is I got too excited about this character. I forgot to even try out 3 stars. I think this character would have had some good 3-star viability, both plug and play as well as with the droid. So good character. It's nice. The breath of fresh air. It's nice having a character that's fine. When the Inquisitors were really annoying, but you know what's not annoying? Well, I'm a little bit annoying, but I gotta ask you for that like. You gotta comment down below. Let me know what you're feeling about Sortie. How is she making you feel in the club? And be sure to subscribe so not missing a thing, because around these parts, we like to say how it's great to be in the Empire today.